here for another edition of Ask Father Silva, and during this month of November, the Church asks us in particular to pray for the souls in purgatory. So today's question is, why, if we suffer on earth, must we also suffer in purgatory? And to answer that question, I think we go to the Catechism to understand what purgatory is first. And it reads, "All who die in God's grace and friendship, but still imperfectly purified, are indeed assured of their eternal salvation, but after death they undergo purification so as to achieve the holiness necessary to enter the joy of heaven." Right? The reality is, if we make it to purgatory, it exists for the purpose of purifying us. That's where that word comes from, purgatory, to purge away that which is bad or evil in order to get us to heaven. So if you make it to purgatory, you're going to heaven. And the best way I can explain this is via analogy. Right? The idea that something can be clean but still not be absolutely perfect, right? Take this white coffee mug, for example, right? If you drink black coffee, you leave it there for a little while, it's going to stain that cup. You can clean the cup and it can be clean, safe to eat or drink out of, but there's still a stain that remains. And when we sin in life, sometimes it leaves an effect. Sometimes it leaves a tendency towards that sin, right? The more you do something, the more you're likely to do it. And so we have these attachments to our sin because of our fallen human nature and concupiscence, right? That tendency towards sin that needs to be purified. And I don't know about you, but when I enter into the joy and the peace and the perfection of eternal heaven, right? I don't even want the tendency towards sin. I don't even want to just be free from my sins, right? I want to be free from the tendency towards sin, right? And so that nothing can disturb us, and that peace is everlasting. And so, right, purgatory is a great grace to know that God is looking after us in such a way that when we enter into the threshold of heaven, right, it's total and absolute perfection. So, right, pray for those souls in purgatory because they can't pray for themselves any longer, and it's our duty as church militant here on earth to continue to pray for them, to intercede for them, offer masses and rosaries and all sorts of fasts, right, for the repose of their souls, and honestly for ourselves too, right, that we too can enter into the joy and perfection of heaven. Have a good day.